Jason Statham is back with his newest action flick, A Working Man. Following review is an excerpt from my newest podcast, The Basement Boys Pod, on YouTube. Check that out. Like, share, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think. And feel free to check out the rest of this channel as well. I post weekly reviews, breakdowns, retrospectives, anything movie and TV you can think of, and let me know what you think. I hope you enjoy the review. Talk about the big premiere this weekend, Jason Statham's new action-filled flick, A Working Man.
Working Man.
So, I don't know, man. I think we saw the trailer for this when we saw Wolfman back in January.
Yeah.
And both of us were just like, nah. Like, it's just... Jason Statham, God love him, does the same movie. Like, he puts out the same movie twice a year, I feel like.
Yeah.
And...
They're okay.
Man, yeah, I mean, they're fine action movies. They you know what they do? They remind me of like the old like action movies from like the 80s with like Stallone and Schwarzenegger and all them. Just like
the Expendables,
like yeah, shit like that.
He was in those too.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, so I don't know, man. So here, I'm not going to focus on the plot for too long because it's like if you've seen the trailer, you kind of know the plot. So he's a construction worker, ex-military. I will say, the opening credits were sweet. They do like this. They do kind of like a James Bond style opening credits where it kind of goes through his past as like a. I think he was a Marine.
It's weird. He was like a counter-terrorist agent. Yeah.
Jason Statham's British, but at one point he does say the country of his birth, so I assume his character was born in America, but he grew up in England, but it allowed him to serve in the American military or whatever.
I don't know.
Who gives a shit? This movie's not great. But, yeah, so he's a construction worker. Michael Pena plays his boss. Michael Pena's daughter gets abducted by these Russian gangsters, presumably to get sold into sex trafficking, and they hire him to find her. And it's one of those classic guy was like an ex-hitman or ex-assassin or ex-deadly marine who moves away from that life to start a new life doing something different, but he gets pulled back. It's that same story.
Yeah.
It's like Taken, kind of. So yeah, I don't know. It wasn't great.
No.
The action sequences, for the most part, I thought were fun. The acting across the board is just horrific.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful.
And the dialogue is terrible. This movie was written and directed by David Ayer, who did the original Suicide Squad and that stupid ass Bright movie with Will Smith with the orcs. That was cops or whatever.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing: David Ayer did Fury. I don't know if you ever saw Fury.
Oh, Fury's really good.
Fury is so good. I just don't understand what happened to this man's career after that. That is like one of my favorite war movies, and it's genuinely, I think, a very good film. And he wrote Fury too, so I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, maybe he was partnered with a.
No,
I'm guessing maybe like it was just like everyone involved in that movie just kind of like elevated it.
Yeah,
because the cast is really amazing.
Yeah, the cast was incredible.
Yeah, pretty sure. But yeah.
So I was when I was watching this earlier, I was kind of going through David Ayer's filmography on Wikipedia, and he did a movie with Jason Statham like last year or the year before called The Beekeeper, which I had seen like one trailer for, and I was like, I'm definitely not seeing that.
Oh, The Beekeeper.
Never did. And I just read like the quick synopsis on Wikipedia, and it was like, he's a beekeeper, obviously, but he takes revenge on like these gangsters or something because they killed his landlady who got involved in a phishing scam like online. I was like, what is this? What? Like, it was just like the most ridiculous sounding movie I've ever heard. And I was like, okay. And then this movie, like, I'll tell you what threw me off about A Working Man. Hang on, let me say this. There's this part in like the first 25 minutes when he starts his investigation to try and find Michael Pena's daughter, and he's like, he finds he finds a Russian gangster, or like one of their like cohorts or whatever, and he's he's waterboarding him in his bathtub, and he pulls him up for air. And this guy's like, "Who are you? What are you?" And Jason Statham doesn't respond. And I was really hoping he would have just been like, "I'm a working man."
Yeah,
and just like
that's
him back on
it's literally a missed opportunity.
I know. What are you doing? But then, like later on, in like the halfway point, he's talking to one of his ex-Marine buddies, like on the phone, who now I think works for the FBI or whatever, and he's trying to get him some intel on these Russian mobsters, and he's like, "Oh, Jason Statham's character, you've been out of the game forever." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm just a normal working taxman." And I'm like, you had another opportunity where you just didn't do it. Like, what are we doing here? And then, because if there's one thing, like, this movie's not good, but you could at least throw us a bone with, throwing
like
the title
a stupid title. Like, I love a good title in a movie. Like,
yeah,
what are
it's
we?
the best, dude.
Like, dude, working taxman. Couldn't you edit it? Like, look, guys, what are we doing here? Like,
and then like, dude, I couldn't keep track. There's so many nameless, faceless Russian gangsters he comes in contact with multiple times throughout this movie, and I'm like, okay, I think we've seen this person before.
Yeah,
I don't remember who they are. There's like, he goes to this motorcycle bar to meet these characters, and it's like a bearded guy and a crazy looking girl. But then the people that abducted the girl are also a bearded guy and a crazy looking girl, and I thought they were the same couple, but they're different couples of people, and I didn't realize it until like the third act that they were different sets of people. And I was like, I thought these were the same people this entire movie.
Yeah, I went through the same thing. Like, kind of like they look so similar in the way that like they could have did a little bit different, like makeup on either of them, and to make them look like slightly different, but they're just like, nope, this is good. We'll just make them look literally almost the same, or like act almost the same, basically. Yeah.
And then it's just weird because he like interrogates the same gangster like multiple times. And then he finds the girl at the end, and there's this big action sequence where he goes to like the main Russian mobster's house and like kills everybody and rescues her, and for some reason, she's a formidable opponent as well. She escapes multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
Keeps getting capped. It's so weird.
Yeah, like, I'm like, this movie could have ended like 20 or 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But
like, it's just weird. He, like, comes in contact with, like, the same two guys over and over and interrogates them, and I'm like, okay, so they didn't give you the people's name the first time, but the second time they're like, all right, here it is, here you go.
Yeah, like, it's like, what do you add? I mean, honestly, it doesn't really do anything different.
Yeah. There was a couple moments actually, while watching this, I thought I was watching a vampire flick, because there's multiple shots in these clubs where people are dancing and doing drugs, and it just looks like something out of Blade. Like, if you've ever been to a nightclub, this is not what it looks like. No. And there's a lot of people in this movie that look very vampire looking like.
I wonder like, if at one point this movie used to be like a vampire movie.
Maybe.
Or they took clips from a different movie and put it in this one.
Yeah, like the one Russian gangster that he interrogates a second time and then ends up taking him with him to the house to rescue the girl. That guy looks like a Jared Leto knockoff. He literally looks like a vampire. And I was like, is this a vampire movie? Because it sure seems like it. And then just like I'm jumping all around, but like this movie was just, there was so much
No, I'm telling you, the first like 20 minutes of the movie, like it felt like I was watching like 3 different movies. As far as like aesthetic and lighting, like it goes from like him at his job to him at the club to like him, like it like jumps around so much, and it's like every time I feel like it's like, I don't know, it just wasn't cohesive, and kind of like I'm like, oh my goodness, why is it going so quickly? And I'm thinking like, oh, this movie's not that long. It's like almost 2 hours. Like, yeah. I'm like, if they're moving this fast at the beginning, this movie's got to be like an hour or like an hour and 20. Like, no, it's literally 2 hours. And there's a scene where she escapes, this is at the end, and she gets captured, like, she gets, like, this is quote-unquote spoilers, I don't know if anyone's gonna see this, but she, like, gets picked up by the cops, and literally the cops, like, take her back immediately. They're knocking on the window, and, like, right after that, it cuts to, like, her in the car, and then she literally immediately, that cut, it gets thrown into, like, the water. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm kind of confused right now. And then, the dialogue for when the guy's phone rings, for whatever, I'm just like, what is this movie?
The one girl kidnapper's so annoying, too. She just, like, unnecessarily just cusses up a storm.
Oh, yeah, and they were like,
every
what
single
the fuck
scene
is your phone? What the fucking fuck?
Yeah.
I'm just like...
And there's this hilarious part at the beginning. Like, so the daughter gets abducted from a bar. Like, it's so stupid. She finishes her first semester at college, I think is what it was. And she's like, Dad, me and my friends are going out to, like, celebrate our first semester. And I'm just like, okay, nobody really, whatever. So she goes out to the bar with, like, her 6 girlfriends. And they do, like, this... They dance to this... First of all... Like, I went, like, we both went to college. I never saw girls dancing like this in the bar. Like, this synced up. They're just, like, it's like they're dancing in, like, this choreographed style all together.
Yeah, unless it's like
who fucking does this?
I was gonna say, unless it's, like, a line dance or, like, a type of, like, unless there's, like, a specific dance to the song, then I wouldn't see more than, like, 2 people doing the same thing in a club, unless it's, like, kind of, like, I mean, like, unless, like, it's a bunch of friends and they're all just doing, like, not synced up dance moves, just stupid dance moves or, like, something silly. But I say this as a white person who can't really dance. Anyway, so.
Dude, the other hilarious... The tone of this movie's all over the place.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
So, there's this character... So, Jason Statham has a young daughter. She's probably, like, 11, maybe. So, he has PTSD. Well, people say he has PTSD. I think his wife committed suicide. I think they said that. I could be making that up. So he doesn't have custody of his daughter. He pulls up in very early on in this movie to this giant mansion to pick up his daughter because it's his, like, visitation hours or whatever. And he greets this man outside the mansion who's wearing, like, this ridiculous tracksuit and, like, this stupid, like, neon painted, like, top hat style thing. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, what is this? And when the guy first walked up, I honest to God thought it was Will Ferrell. And I was like, is this Will Ferrell? And then, like, they're talking, and the entire time they're talking, I thought this was, like, this girl's stepdad. And then it's, like, later in the movie, you find out it's his wife's dad that got custody. So it's the girl's grandpa. But for, like, an hour, I had no idea who this guy... Like, I had no idea what that plot point was. Like, it was just so weird, and he's dressed ridiculous in every scene he's in, but his character is very serious, and I was like, this doesn't work. I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but it's not. And because later he fights these two, like, the sons of the Russian mobster. He fights and kills them, and they're wearing, like, the exact same outfit as this guy. And I was like, none of this works. None of it matches. None of it makes sense. And it's just crazy. This movie is wild, but not in a good way. Like, every time they switched to a new scene and new people got introduced, I was like, this movie, everything's out of fucking left field in this movie.
Honestly, it's like, I think this movie, like, between our first, like, I feel like, honestly, we should just keep this bad movie streak going. Because, like, last week's was just, like, dreadfully, like, awful in, like, a bad way. This was kind of awful in, like, a entertaining way. Where it's like, I wonder what's going to happen next, and you kind of can't really understand what is going to happen because it's so poorly acted, so poorly, like, edited. Written. I feel like
the dialogue is so bad.
It's so just a bad. It's like kind of like when those bad movies. Like a bad action movie in general. Like, if you can picture a bad action movie, I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head, but the only bad movie that people love or like to watch is Trolls 2, and that's the only thing coming to my mind right now for whatever reason. But it's kind of not on the level of Trolls 2 as far as, like, candid, weird funniness, but it is kind of out there and kind of all over the place in a weird, funny way, like, kind of laugh out loud.
Yeah. There's a scene where he gets, like, he's getting chased by the sons of this Russian mobster, and I think he's on a motorcycle, but he crashes, and the cops are there, and then the cops come out to meet the Russian brothers, and the Russian brothers hand them a stack of money to the cops. And Jason Statham looks at the cops and he's like, "Oh no, you're on the payroll too." And I'm just like, "Yeah, we fucking know. Like, it's obvious. You don't have to say that." I'm just like there's so much bad, like, exposition heavy dialogue in this movie, and I was just like, dude, how did this same guy that wrote this write and direct Fury? It's just incredible.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. What did you think? I thought this movie was terrible. So
yeah, it was pretty bad.